What in the world was that? There was a hitty up and a glitch in the system. I'm done to tell you. But welcome to the show. This is Lee Black. Welcome to Real Talk for Real Men, Wednesday's edition. I hope you guys are having a great week. I'm feeling pretty energized, feeling pretty good. Got a good night rest, and I didn't have too many numbskulls today, so I'm doing all right. TFG is the platform on which my show airs. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook. You can go directly to YouTube and look for Real Talk for Real Men, or you can go under the TFG umbrella and look under the ratchet, look under the raw, the ratchet, and you can find us, uncut. Let me bring in my co-host, Miss Tasha Mack from Memphis. What's going on, Mick Mack?
Oh, not much. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm actually good today. My energy is high. How are you?
I'm here. I am
Okay.
here. That's it.
Okay. Well, sometimes it be that way where your energy is a little bit low. That's all right. That's all right. And so we'll kind of chit chat for a few moments. And if nobody pops in, we'll do what we do, what we've always done. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So with that being said, how is your week going?
It's going. It's been a very long week. So far, to me at least, it's going. I'll be happy when Friday gets here, of course, because you can never get upset about Friday.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I appreciate that. Ironically, my week started out slow, but I'm doing pretty good. I had a good enough week, I would say. So, and I'm smack dab in the middle of it on the other side. So I'm always happy about that. So, yeah. So I'm doing pretty good. I see sis is popping in, so we know at least we got one member of the family in the joint. What's going on, sis? How you doing?
Okay, what's up, brother? How's Tasha?
What's going on, Sherry?
All right, and fantastic. Good to see you, sis. How are you doing in New York City?
I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain today.
There you know what me and Tasha say all the time. If you complain, who the fuck gonna care?
Exactly.
So you might as well don't complain at all. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? We're above ground. We're doing okay, so that's good enough. So uh, life is good. So, for people popping in and out, this is our Wednesday show. On Wednesdays, we tend to talk about things a little bit, a little bit more serious. Saturdays, we try to have a little bit of fun, and that's always been the nature of our show. And we're gonna keep doing what we do. As I said, you can subscribe to us on YouTube or Facebook under the TFG umbrella, or look for us directly for Real Talk, Real Men. We're gonna jump into this thing because I don't want to even we already a little bit on CP time, but we gonna jump into there and do our thing, and we hope we get some family members. If not, we'll have us a great conversation amongst ourselves. So today's topic is the 9 most unforgivable things in a relationship. And one of the reasons why I chose this topic today, so I went unilateral. There are other things, but sometimes I do that. It's my
Right.
show, so I can do that. But I did run it by the fam a little bit. But there was a reason why, ladies, that I wanted to do this. For me, over the last probably month, especially from the holiday season, I see Kenny's popping in. Welcome, brother Kenny. How you doing, my brother?
Okay.
How you doing, my brother Kenny?
What's going
Can you
on,
hear me?
guys? Internet is kind of
Hey, what's going on,
tricky
partner?
right now, so we'll see how this.
I, I I understand, my brother. I've had some people dealing with that in different parts of this country as well. I really was just about to share with everybody over the last month, particularly over the holiday season, as I've been looking at social media, the different platforms. I noticed that it seems to me like in so many ways, relationships are getting even worse, if that's imaginable. From what I've seen, you know, um, and it's no one side's fault or whatever. I guess from a little bit I'm picking up, um, but it got me to wondering, why are people staying together? You know, um, and even in my personal life, I know people who are together and clearly the relationship is toxic, or there's been so much damage done. And it got me to thinking, like, why do people still stay together under that level of stress and strain? And maybe I don't see things a certain way because maybe I'm at this topic is really for me, because I started thinking about, did I give up on certain relationships too quick? Have I become too set in my ways? to demand and expect certain things that has to go my way? Or am I still the person that certain things I just know that are not for me, and I can't live with it? Does that make sense?
It does. It definitely
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
You
I,
know,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
please go ahead. No.
No, I just wanted to say, just by reading the title, just the 9 most unforgivable things in a relationship, and even when just ask me, just what do you think if this will be a good one? Absolutely, because of course it's extremely subjective, but I do think that at a core, between men and women, no matter who it is, I think that there are certain things that a lot of people may tend to agree, most people will agree on, of what's unacceptable in a relationship. But I do think what's contributing to the demise of the relationships is those conversations aren't being had, or some views are so extreme one to the other. And then also, how many chances do you give somebody? Just how many?
Yeah, and so that's why really I came to this, because I hope, if somebody watches this, it sheds a light on how maybe they could be happier. And because that's the biggest part. I see so many people staying together and they're miserable, and frankly, some of them making me miserable. You know, and so at the end of the day, you always want people that, if you can make it, make it. And I've given that advice to many of my friends as well. Hey, if you can tolerate this, and if that's the only problem, or hey, nothing else is out there, blah blah blah. But I realized in 2023, I'm gonna stop saying that, because I realized that inadvertently, my words and encouragement might actually be helping somebody stay when maybe they should leave. Maybe they'll be happier, you know.
Mm,
And I think about the decisions I made when I left relationships. And so I'm going to be more aware and cognizant of the fact that these 9 things, maybe you should put them under the microscope and examine them for yourself and then decide. But maybe sometimes it's okay to let go, because we've been talking about friendships having an expiration date. I know we all want to believe that it's happily ever after, but sometimes maybe it is time to let some things go. What do you think, sis?
I think y'all both right because I had my own situation. Shit, I mean, you stay, but a lot of things I see out here, I have said to myself, I might as well stay with what I got, with what I'm seeing.
I I was gonna say, I think that's also a deterrent too, because it's like, instead of being by my damn self, let me just stay with what I got. It ain't that bad. So
Hmm.
So as we go through this, then I guess, for those who are staying, is it better to be in a fire than being in a frying pan? For those of us who don't have relationships, should we recognize that maybe since ain't nothing out there, we might as well find something? So that's kind of what, for me, how I'm going to examine this. So we're going to get into it. So the number one thing to come on, this is in no particular order either, just so you know. Um, and I haven't even really looked over them in any detail. I just captured the title and we'll talk about them. So this one is one of the reasons to that's unforgivable is over controlling partners. Now, as I read this, I want to know from each of us, since especially we got a small group, we can go into this a little bit more detail. Have you ever been in this situation where you've had an over controlling partner, or have you been the over controlling partner? You know, so I think that'll be interesting. It says primarily you want to get into relationships where you can both nurture and grow with each other. Nobody wants a partner who's overbearing and is constantly breathing down their neck. You deserve to be with someone you deserve to be with someone who doesn't try to control and manipulate everything that you do. You deserve someone who is selfless and understands your needs as an individual. Now, like you said, Tasha, I think in a general sense, everybody can agree with that.
yes.
This is where it gets tricky,
Okay.
because on its surface, yes. But what do you guys think about this? Is this something that's unforgivable in a relationship if somebody is over controlling?
I wish that the article had went like a little bit further as far as what it considered as over controlling, because it's gonna vary from person to person. Over controlling in the sense of dictating what you wear, where you go, more like a parent, or over controlling where they just have like little weird, like little weird behaviors that more obsessive compulsive than anything.
Okay. Okay.
So, but I would say in this, I don't think I've ever been with anybody who I would consider over controlling. No, nothing like that. Have I been over controlling? I have control issues. I want to
Okay.
be, for me, if I can't do it my way, or if I feel like I can do it better, just let me do it. Because I want it done like a certain way. I would say it's more obsessive compulsive than anything. And I know where I get it from. I get it from my dad. I know that. Because it's easy just sometimes just be like, never mind, just let me do it kind of
Okay.
deal. So
I'm curious then, has that ever become a big issue in a relationship that you was in, that over compulsiveness as you describe it, to get out the way, let me just do it because I want it done right?
no, just I just get called bossy.
Okay.
I just get called bossy. That's it. Just bossy.
Okay. And where do you draw the line then on idiosyncrasies and somebody just being a little compulsive, and then in terms of somebody trying to, breathe down your neck, what would be your limit to what you could take?
I don't want to feel like that I'm with someone where I feel like I have to answer to them. Where I have to remind you and let you know you're not my mother, you're not my father, you ain't God, you ain't none of those things. So I don't feel like I have to answer to you for anything, in the sense that I'm not going to share. I don't think it's mandatory to share my location with you, to hand over my phone and let you go through it, or that you have to be involved in every conversation that I'm having on my phone, that you have to be involved in it just because like you're in the same room. Still be free to be an individual, because I'm going to be the same. I'm going to return that right back to you.
Okay.
So
Wow. And you brought up a lot of good specific things. What do you think, sis, when it comes to this one about over controlling partners? Where do you fall on this subject?
I've never been in a relationship where nobody was controlling me because I'll have a over controlling attitude myself. Now, the thing is that, but I don't think I'm like overbearing with it, because certain things in my life, if I was overbearing with it, maybe it would have went different. But if I see a person acting like they ain't got no common sense and shit, then I have to tell you what it is. Like, and so I just think that a man, you want to be the head, you have to act like it for me. And if you're not acting like it, I'm going to take over and control of it, and then you're going to be listening to me.
Okay. I got a question for you at this stage, because I think it's been well documented, for people watching this show for quite a while, and they know your personality. How difficult would it be for you at this stage to relinquish that control?
It would be real difficult. It would be very, very difficult for me. You know what I'm saying? Because coming from our mother, this is what we've seen most of our life. You know what I'm saying? As her being the controlling one, so to speak.
Okay.
So I got a lot of her in me when it comes to that. You
Okay.
know what I mean?
Okay.
So that would be real difficult for me.
Okay. I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate your honesty. Now, you're currently in a marriage. What would that look like for you? What would it take for you at this stage to relinquish that control and step back and let somebody else take the reins?
I mean, I would be able to do it if if my husband was a person that was taking a lead to where he's supposed to be. You understand? And I can kind of deal with that. But if I see that you ain't doing what you're supposed to do, you know what I'm saying, as far as being a leader, then
Okay.
hell
So,
no.
so I want you to be specific. What would it take for you to relinquish control? For you, for you to give up that control. You already mentioned that it would be tough for you. Be specific. What would it take for you to be able to sit back and say, you know what, you got it?
Okay, well, I don't know. It'd take a lot. Like, he really and truthfully, he would have to be. I mean, where, like I said, where he's doing everything. Everything is put into place the proper way that is he's supposed to.
What's everything?
Like, I mean, everything. Like, I mean, because to be honest with you, okay, as you know, I have a daughter, so it's like, say for instance, my daughter. He, instead of him wanting to be in a bar drinking, he should.
I'm gonna stop you right there. Let's make something clear for the audience. Your daughter's how old?
33.
So
I mean,
I'm sure he's not fucking his daughter. So let's take her. Let's remove her out of the equation.
But
What's done is done there as a parent. So because when you're saying everything, what is it specifically he would need to do? And when I say he, any man, because you already mentioned that it would be difficult. What is it the man would have to do for you to relinquish control? Be specific.
I mean, basically, have things where I don't really have to, do anything. I mean, it's just an all around thing. It would be hard for me at this point, definitely.
Am I missing what things? Do everything. What things? And get this in place. But
I mean,
give me something specific
Let me become specific. Like even working around the house, as far as something like fixing something. See, in my relationship, a lot of times, as you know, he'd be like, oh, because he used to paying people to do everything for us. He's not a handyman. So, and if he was doing things like fixing something that needed to be fixed without asking me, then maybe I could, and let me step back and see you doing these things. But he ain't that handyman type of man.
Oh, okay. Okay. I understand.
So he's always asking me, "Oh, what's this?" So I move out the way. Let me do this. And
I get that. I get where you're coming from, and I'm gonna take you up the hot seat now. And I put you on the hot seat for a reason, and I'm gonna come back to that. Thank you for allowing this to play out live in real time. It's called Real Talk. Brother Kenny, this very first one, over controlling. And again, I think we all, want to be in a healthy relationship. But have you ever been in a relationship where, the person was over controlling? And have you ever been that person?
No, and you guys, excuse my internet connection. It's bugging tonight. I don't know what's up with it. But I heard your question. Over controlling partners. No, I ever been in a relationship like that, and I'm not that type of. I'm not a control freak, because I don't want nobody controlling me. So I haven't experienced that. So no.
Okay. All right. So let me share with you. I didn't think I was an over controlling partner, but I was. Full honesty. And in my marriage, looking back on it now I could sit here and tell you guys I was older, but let's be clear, I was only 3 years older than her. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't
right.
I was super older than her and all this kind of shit.
Right.
Yes, I was older. Yes, I did have more life experience. But when I look back now, when I think about this, I was an overbearing husband in many ways, because I can look back now, and because she had never lived on her own and this and that, I think about maybe some of the damage that I did, because in many ways I was breathing down her neck. Sherry, it's funny that you brought up about handyman kind of thing. Now, I've never had issues there, but I think about cleaning. For our marriage to work, she said, you can't be here. You got to get out the house. I can't clean with you here because you're breathing down my neck, because you want things your way. And when I think back now into not just my marriage, Tasha, you laughing, in relationships, I have an overbearing personality in a relationship. Tasha, why are you laughing at me?
Because it's so true. You are. I'm not. Let me say this. I'm not saying that you're a controlling friend, but when you have made up your mind about something, no, that's not happening. It's shut down. So it's just funny. That's all.
I'm being honest, and that's why, again, I'm learning something about myself. Sherry, I put you on the hot seat for the reason that this is so funny that when a woman says, well, I would give the man the reins, but you were struggling to come up with specific ways that he need to improve. And so I wanted to highlight that in many ways, how can the man know what the hell to do if you don't know, you can't articulate it yourself? You know what I'm saying? So that was funny to me that, I heard all these trigger words. You got to do, everything, and I
It
mean,
is.
and then you went to the daughter and everything. So for a lot of guys out there, that's the struggle. On a serious note, that's the struggle.
Right.
Is that they're facing an insurmountable wall, one that the person can't even truly articulate fully about what you need to do.
But
You know what I'm
don't
saying?
you feel
That's
that
true.
a man should know what they need to be doing?
To a certain extent.
We're not mind readers.
Yeah,
To a certain extent,
thank you.
but we
Thank
can't
you for
read your
saying
mind.
that. Thank you for saying that. Because without going down the rabbit hole, you married him. So if it was important to you that he know how to swing a hammer, shouldn't you have had him build you a damn tree house before y'all got hitched? And I'm just saying,
A tree house.
I'm going overboard. I'm going overboard.
Wait,
And
let me
again, and no,
Yeah.
and I'm not going. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But I'm saying because we could sit here and tear this down all day. But I'm saying if certain things are important to you, not just you as a woman, those are things. What Kenny's saying is those are things that should have been communicated clearly. And if they were that important, then you probably shouldn't have got married. It's
okay, but
all we're saying.
you're right. To be honest with you, I got married for all the wrong reasons. I can tell you that straight.
So again, we're not going to put your marriage under the microscope. I'm just talking about this one particular thing,
Right.
And that's why I said I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Number two, another unforgivable thing is broken trust. Honesty is a rare commodity. Honesty is a rare commodity in today's world. Do not expect it from cheap people. Trust is an absolutely vital piece when building a relationship. Everything you do as a couple has to be built on a foundation of trust. You have to be able to trust one another to make the right decisions and to not hurt each other. Once that trust is broken, there's no repairing it to go back to the way it used to be. No relationship can survive when trust is undervalued. Ooh.
Yeah.
How much do you guys agree with that? And if there's anything in there you don't agree with, anybody?
I agree with that 110%.
Me too.
Me personally. That's the foundation right there. And it's funny that this is part of it because I saw a question in the TFG sport group, matter of fact. And it says, would you share your location with your significant other everywhere you go? As far as like, on your cell phone, would you share your, and I'm like, first of all, my partner is not my probation officer, number one. Number two, if I got to do that, then we got bigger issues in our relationship because they got to do that.
I love that you said that, Brother Kenny, because in today's relationships, that seems to be important, that the person sometimes want to know where you are every waking minute, because technology allows us to be tethered to one another every waking minute. The first voice you hear, the last face you see, many of these devices got trackings on there. If you got a shared phone thing, people can literally look at and see where you are, who you calling. So this one is big, but I got a question. Tasha, I want to ask you something about when it comes to trust. Do you think it's healthy to tell everything about yourself to your partner?
No, I don't think it's healthy for anybody. I keep some things for yourself though, because there's, even for me in any relationship that I have, there's only a certain level of things that I'm going to share with anyone, to reveal with anyone. And that will even be different for somebody that I'm in a relationship with. And when I say, certain things, it's nothing, like that I would consider like serious or anything. Mm-hmm. But certain things, like in regards to my past, look, I've never killed anybody, nothing like that. But, certain things that I may have experienced like in past relationships, I may not share that with you. Mm-hmm. So, like there's just certain things that I think that you just need to keep to yourself. But this one right here, broken trust, it is a big one for me because stand on your word is everything. Do what you say you're gonna do when you say you're gonna do it. Just let your words, let your mouth just be a true representation of you. Because if you don't have trust, you don't have everything. And that, even with the whole like sharing the location thing, I think that's so crazy. Why can't you, what is it that I may have done or said that would lead you to follow up on me, that you just can't trust that that's where I am? I think that's a major breakdown in most relationships now. Why do you need that level of reassurance daily, hourly, whatever it is? I think it's kind of crazy.
Absolutely, I agree.
I
How you
agree.
doing, Miss Toria? Super fan.
Hey, Miss
Good to
Toria,
see you. Good to see you,
what's up?
sweetheart. Sis, I got a question for you. Speaking of broken trust, if the trust is broken, let's say I'm talking about the worst possible way with cheating, can a marriage survive? Can it be repaired?
No, you just be in a relationship tolerating the person, but it will never
Wow.
ever be the same.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Nope.
Wow. Wow. Brother Kenny, same question, Um, if there's infidelity, cheating, could you forgive? Could the trust be repaired?
Oh, personally, you're not
Yeah,
asking in
yeah,
general. You just asking
yeah.
me
I
if
mean,
I could.
for you
Okay, for
personally,
me,
yeah.
um, it would it would have to be a serious discussion. And I mean, because I really would want to know what drove you to that, what's going on, what's up. To be honest with you, what could I forgive? It just depends on the particular circumstance. I think
Okay,
I could,
okay.
but that's one of those things that you really don't know what you would do until it actually happened.
That's fair. That's fair. Tasha, I'll ask you that same question. You know, if could okay, you already shaking your head.
She already
No,
said no.
no, and that goes like both ways too. Like, no, like forgive you, but we can't be in a relationship. I can't trust you at all. I
Wow.
don't trust anything that you're gonna say, even past that, even especially in marriage. The fact that you stand up, most people stand up there and they take vows and they say what they're going to do
Mm-hmm.
in that, in a marriage. So you're vowing to do these things, so now you've broken that vow. I can't trust anything you say. I can't even trust you say that you brushed your teeth this morning. I can't even trust it. Okay, I
Wow.
gotta follow up behind you, and I don't even feel like doing that
Wow.
no more. I don't want to be a detective. No.
You know what's so incredible hearing this is because if that's true, if everything all of us is saying is true, you know how many relationships I know right now are still
Oh,
connected, even though
oh yeah.
infidelity has happened, and in many cases more than one
Relationships.
time.
Oh,
Relationships.
it's a whole bunch.
Relationships.
I, I'm,
No,
I'm,
I
go
I
ahead, Kenny.
I know from my experience, in there are a lot of marriages that are still together, and
That's
there
why I'm
have been
saying it.
infidelity.
That's why I'm asking it. And I'm because
Can
if go ahead, brother
can
Kenny.
can a marriage survive it? If you ask me that question, I think a marriage can survive it, but it depends on both those parties. If because let's be honest, it can survive it if the one that's doing the forgiving is like, okay, we're gonna move on, as long as they don't keep throwing that in that person's face, or
Oof.
unless if they start being really controlling and again want to know where you at, no matter what you breathe and what you eating. No, it can't survive that person being like that. But if they go to counseling and they say they truly forgive that person for their infidelity, yeah, I think marriages can survive.
I
Not
think
multiple
human
infidel, not multiple infidelities, but yeah, once.
I think human nature kind of overrules that, just because if like you hit me, I'm gonna get you back. I'm gonna get my lick back. And I think that
Mm.
rolls around in a lot of people's minds, and they may be going through the motions of a relationship, but is it even really a relationship? or is
So
it
that's
some other form of
so
it?
that's why
Yeah. Yeah.
I stopped cold on listening to what you said. Even Miss Toria says no, no, no. Bye. Hit the road. Once that trust has been broken, it never can be repaired. So y'all are so definitive,
I,
and that's what's
yeah.
driving me to
Yeah. Me too. Me
know
too.
that, because what I'm looking at is, again, I know people
I do
where
too.
infidelity has happened, and some where it's happened more than once. So if that's true, I'm listening to what you're saying, Tasha. Are they then just kind of going through the
Going
motions?
through the motions.
Is it hanging on? To your point, Tasha, how much is it that that person is saying, well, okay, you got me, I'm gonna get you back? If the human nature, I used to say, if I cheated on a woman and she found out, I'm gonna run as fast as I can, because my mind would be telling me what you said, Tasha, that you've just given her some get some dick free card, you know. And this is a crazy one for me, because I guess in my case, I want to believe that even if the trust is violated, I don't know. I would like to think that as I've gotten older now, that I can get past certain things.
And
When I
let me
was
say this
younger,
too, Black. Let me say
mhm,
this. I think this cheating, this broken trust and infidelity, let's go to our grandparents' generation.
mhm.
I really truly believe like our grandmothers and our whatever, they knew that their husband was sleeping around, and they stayed because of they really didn't have, they couldn't leave, because most of the time in those relationships, the man was the breadwinner, the woman you know what I'm saying. So I
I,
just think a
I,
lot
I,
of times that generational mindset then was,
I
the woman's like, okay,
maybe,
yeah, yeah,
and
but
things are certainly different.
now things are totally different. I don't
Last,
think.
I want to ask the last question on this then, because I'm thinking about something else. When we talk about broken trust, we automatically went to infidelity, which
Right.
is normal. Are there any other forms of broken trust that are just as damaging, or is it only broken trust in the ultimate sense when you've cheated?
That's a good question. Wow.
And while you think about that, there's a reason why I asked that, and this is so true. When my marriage ended, it could have easily survived infidelity. I was prepared for that. When we kind of was going our separate ways, I had already fabricated in my head, she's probably seeing somebody. I could live with that. You know what was worse for me? What was worse, what truly destroyed me wanting to stay? When you when I asked the simple question, do you want to be in this marriage? And there was a hesitation. That was the most hurtful part for me. More damaging than me imagining somebody fucking her. For me, what hurt more than anything else was, I thought I had this person that was going to go through the fire with me no matter what, that we could survive this, that, and the other. And the thought that there was a hesitation, that for me was that was the worst. And do you know, I never married since then, because I never wanted to feel that sense of, I never again wanted to feel that sense of loneliness and being out there on my own. For me, I truly think I could survive the infidelity sexual part. What I can't survive, the broken trust for me is, I don't know, believing in me. Maybe I'm not saying it right. That for me is
Mm,
it's
mm,
more. I'm sorry, y'all.
mm,
No, that's why I said for me is doing what you say that you're going to do.
Hmm.
If after so many times I give you a chance, I give you a chance, and it's always an excuse why you fell short or why you couldn't do it. For me, that does break down my trust, my dependability, and after a while, I'm just like, if you don't care, then why should I? Because obviously we're not working towards the same thing. So why am I putting forth an effort? And I don't, and again, I don't know, if that's what you're referring to, but that's
No,
for
it
me
is.
is your
It
word.
is. Because
You
Miss
know,
Tori agreed with you. She said telling lies. She said, if you lie to me, that's another form of trust being broken. You need honesty all the way around. And then so for that I agree. And that's why I'm gonna lie. I'm just not gonna get caught in a lie.
Well,
Yeah.
what level of lie? Lie to me
Yeah,
about a good
right.
surprise.
Right.
Don't lie to
So
me and be like, I got two
yeah,
girlfriends, or or that I used to be with a man, or anything. Don't lie to me about certain things like that.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
and so I get that. So
Yeah.
I would like to
Right.
believe I'm a skilled enough liar that I can even lie about the big shit.
But oh my God,
Okay.
he
Let
is
me
a
ask this question.
narcissist.
The folks was raised being taught, um, two wrongs don't make it right, but it make us even.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
like I said, but anyway, that's why for this one it's just the
Ooh,
broken
that's a tough.
trust.
It's a tough one because
It
man,
is.
you can go to you can go so many down to so many rabbit holes with that.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
I'm not.
yeah.
I'm gonna stay on topic. But what I found interesting about Miss Tori and what she said, and then and Tasha kind of said the same thing is you need honesty all the way around. But let's be real honest.
Oh, I think
no,
he gonna
no,
say what I think he
no
gonna say what I was thinking.
oxymoron. That do you really want? Do you really want your partner to be honest with you all the time?
I need a certain level of honesty in my life, even if you think it's going to hurt my feelings. Please tell me,
But
please.
but let me call out one thing. But you also said there are certain things you're never going to reveal.
Yeah.
So for
Mm,
that reason, I'm just saying for me, that's why I believe that I'm never going to get total honesty out of that other person. For me, give me enough. Let me live in a good lie. That's
mm,
okay with me. Let
mm,
me be comfortable in my good lie. If you're going to fuck somebody else, don't get caught. Don't give me anything, and make sure that it's somebody on my level. And I can live in my happy little lie, and you could be out there getting your brains bashed in. I'm okay.
No, 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 no. I'm
I'm just
saying
I'm saying for
honesty in the
me.
sense. I'm saying honesty in the sense of our relationship. What may have happened, what may have predated you, ain't gonna have no. I'm not gonna have nobody popping up, trying to beat you up. Nothing like that. Nothing crazy like that. I'm gonna
I
be
agree with
honest
that
about my
part.
family and things like that.
I agree with that
But
part.
what I may have experienced or the time of my life, I'm not gonna tell you about that because that ain't gonna do nothing but hurt your feelings. And don't nobody need to hear that, okay? Just
So
between
we
me and
we
God.
actually in agreement.
So so
I,
you in
and I
agreement?
wouldn't
You're in
want to know
agreement
that.
with Black. You're in agreement
We
with
are
Black.
actually in agreement. We are in
Right.
total
Yeah.
agreement.
Yeah.
And you're right. So the important things, yeah,
Yeah.
I want to be with somebody that now I can be honest with, and you
Hmm.
know the real me, and I can say something to you, even if it's a little hurtful. So I agree with you. I agree
Yeah.
with you. I agree with you. Okay, let's go now. Let's go to number three. These taking on some life of their own now. Over dependence. It's sometimes cute and endearing to feel like you're needed. It makes you feel important and it gives you a sense of purpose in this world. However, there's a line between being sometimes a little bit needy and just being downright over dependent. You want a partner who is strong enough to stand on his or her own 2 feet. You don't want someone who will immediately crumble at the thought of you leaving. You have your own life to live and your own problems to deal with. The baggage of carrying the dead weight of another person is just too much for any mortal being to bear.
Yeah.
How about that one? So, as an unforgivable thing in a relationship, is this one of them? Does this measure up if someone is over dependent on upon you?
Yes.
Is that unforgivable?
Unforgivable. That's what
No,
we're
that's
talking
that.
about.
Yeah, that one to me is forgivable. I think,
Okay.
in my
I, I
opinion.
I think this is going to be a difference between men and women. I think by and large, most men like to feel needed in that sense and don't mind having a more clingy partner who may need the extra reassurance, and things like that. But as a woman, for me, I don't want someone who's overly dependent on me. I can't I've been with someone who I felt like was so clingy, who wanted to be connected with me all the time, constantly, 24/7, wherever I was. He wanted to be, even if that meant by phone, FaceTime, whatever. That's too much.
Right.
That's too much. Give me a chance to miss you because that is a complete, it is unforgivable. And it makes me start to look at you and question you as a partner and as a man.
I'm so glad you said, Brother Kenny, you were going to say on this one. You said this one is
Uh,
forgivable, and tell us why.
I think, but Tasha kind of hit it. I mean, when she said, I think that there is a difference between this one between men and women. Again, I don't want I don't want a woman to be over dependent on me. I do want her to have her own independence. Don't get me wrong, but also as a man, I don't want her to. I don't want her to feel like she need me either. I really want her to want me. Yeah, because if you need me now, yeah, now I'm gonna be a crutch for you, and I ain't that's a load that I don't want to bear for any other individual. so I get what Tasha is saying, but when it comes to the fact of being forgivable, I think this is something that's forgivable, and you can probably work on it if it's worth the relationship, if that person is worth it.
Okay. Okay. Sis, what about this one for you? Dealing with somebody that's over dependent. Because I
Yeah,
damn sure know that you're not over dependent. You ain't never been over dependent on no man. So,
no, but I have a man that I feel is over dependent on me, and it bothers me a lot. And I'm gonna tell you, person, I need my space. Period. And
okay.
that's where I get to be bossy because you're not gonna be on my back and ask me everything. You try to figure it out.
Okay. I'm so glad you talked about needing your own space. Any relationship that I've ever been in, that was important to me. That we individually keep growing on our own. I don't want to be somebody's everything. I don't want to be their all of everything. That to me is unattractive. And I think Tasha, you nailed it. In so many ways. Miss Toria said never like clingy, and me neither. I've never. Now some men are attracted to clingy. I've
Hmm.
never been attracted to clingy women. It's always been my goal when I've been in a relationship. If anything, I'm going to push you to be more than you even thought you could be. And if that means more educated than me, better job, I've never been uncomfortable with the idea that, oh my God, she has a better job than me, a better car. That doesn't bother me. And I do think independence is attractive. But here's where, Tasha, you're right. I do want to feel like a man. I do want to feel where Kenny said, I do want to feel needed in some ways. I definitely don't want to feel like I could be replaced by the rose. And anybody know what I'm talking about? The rose, the little device that twirls around in your pussy. You know, I don't want to feel like that can take my space and my place. Even sometimes when I say lie to me, it's okay. This is gonna sound crazy, and maybe this is a generational thing. It's okay for me sometime to play the quote unquote dumb blonde to let me know I'm a man. I am needed. Baby, can you hang this picture for me? Baby, can you open this jar for me? I know you can do it. And it's something as simple as that, though, but it does give me some sense of purpose. Baby, can you put some gas in my car? Because once we get to a point where you don't need me for even the simplest of things, I do start questioning what the fuck am I doing here? You know, and I do think we've crossed so far over in this female empowerment shit that it does make men question what their role is. And so, to a certain extent, that now when you see this whole go get it mentality with women, and I'm out there getting the bag, I think we've created a bunch of men that, like to Tasha's point, where now you have to question their manhood because what purpose are you serving in some ways? And so, I do want to feel needed in this sense, definitely. But of course, I don't want the person over dependent upon me and afraid if I leave that they're gonna fall apart. Now that's just not attractive. That's just fucking insane, and I got to get away from that as quickly as I can. Welcome, Real Estate
Right.
Insider. How you doing, my brother?
What's up? What's up, fam?
Yeah, so that's different. In the interest of time, we're gonna jump into our next one. This is when your partner refuses to discuss your future. In order for you to grow in a relationship, you have to know where you're going. You have to be able to plot out the plans you have for yourself in life and whether or not your partner has a place in it. When you find the conversations about your future to be a little one sided, maybe it's time for you to rethink your entire relationship. How important is this, and is this unforgivable When your partner refuses to discuss your future.
I
And when
think
I
that
say your future, I'm talking about the future of the relationship together,
Right.
where it's going.
I think it's interesting that the word refuses is thrown in there because that makes it that to me that
Mhm.
tells me
That
that they're
changes
just
it.
not just
Right.
never going to approach the topic. Every time it
Right.
does come up, you find a way to like change it. There is no us, it is you, it is me, it's not we, okay? It's none of that. So for me that's definitely unforgivable because where are we going on this ride?
Yeah. Yeah.
I got.
Tasha's right.
Let me throw you guys a loop. And I'm so glad you centered in on the word refuse. What if refuse is refused in a sense that y'all just don't see eye to eye on where the relationship is headed? And so this is where I stand, and this is as far as I'm gonna go. And she's this is as far as I'm gonna go. And so I like how I talked about if I have aspirations that 5 years from now, I want a bigger house and I might want to move to another place, and this is what I want. But you say, no, that's not going to work for me. I'm fine right where I'm at. And is that unforgivable?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unforgivable, but it's also at least the communication is there. You know where each other stand. So guess what? You know what? I'm not waiting. I'm gonna cut my losses now because I already know. Obviously, you're not budging on what you want. You're not looking at it from that perspective, my perspective. Not that you have to agree with it either. But this is what I want, and we don't want the same thing. So why the hell we sitting here screaming at each other? Let's move around.
Exactly. Why waste any more time? We're obviously not working towards the same goals.
No.
And what relationship is going to remain constant if it's built on like an ultimatum or neither one of you wanting to budge, or even modify it?
I got a question for you guys real quick. I wrote an article one time called 24 Hours to Live. And in the article, it examined time and how men and women view time differently. Now, this article was written, I got to tell you, 15 years ago. So, and under the microscope, maybe it's time to re-examine that. Maybe. But the question pertaining to this, when your partner refuses to discuss your future, how important is it to you as women now when you think about your future? How far ahead are you looking when you're with someone? And Brother Kenny, I want us to answer that same question. If you're with somebody, what does looking ahead in the future mean for you? How far ahead are you looking as a woman?
I would say you would look out about 5 years.
Okay.
Mm.
I'm far ahead for like as far as like the length the plan of our relationship or
Where
what.
you see it going, you're in a relationship. Yeah. How far ahead do you as a woman look ahead and think where we're going to be?
Oh, yeah, I'd probably say definitely a couple of years, 2 years, and then once you hit the 2 year mark, okay, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, it's gonna keep jumping.
Okay. Brother Kenny,
Mm.
same question for you.
I'll be honest with you, man. Life has thrown me so many curveballs. I'll be honest with you. I don't look no 5 years ahead. I'm looking probably 3 months ahead in 3 month increments because hey man, you never know what's gonna happen in the next week. So let's look 3 months ahead and then move and look at it again from that time.
I love this man. This man is really my brother. This man is really my brother, and we just agree on so. Now, I'm not saying I'm right or he's right. I'm just it. We do have a connection. I don't know if it's a Capricorn thing, the age thing,
It's,
whatever. But
yeah, it's that
we
both of
do
that.
share
Yeah.
views in this way because the article that was written 15 years ago it really talked about that. How I've always thought that women, y'all have this thing in relationships where sometimes, to me, they look past instead of enjoying the journey, they always looking at the destination. And I love the fact that Tasha, you said 2, 3 years, then it's gonna move, then it's gonna move, then it's good. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And as a man, we tend to live in the here and the now. You know what I'm saying? We sh- time we view time so differently than you guys. I think, as men, because he's so right. I have no idea
Right.
3 months from now what the fuck I'm gonna be doing or think. I just can't. I can't. I
Right.
hear I got women friends right now that's talking about in October we're going on a cruise. Baby, I have no idea if I'm gonna be alive in October. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
But that's
Exactly.
because of how women, like, even as young
Right.
girls, like, it's
Right.
the planning aspect
I
that
Yes,
love it.
that's
that
true.
we
That's true.
naturally have,
I agree.
that's given to
That's
us.
true.
I
You can't
love it.
help
I
it.
love and
You
that
right, Tasha. I get it.
and I get goosebumps because that's one truly identifiable thing that we as men and women have to work through then, because hearing y'all talk, men, listen, and you should hear that part because it's important to y'all that y'all want to know where we're going to be a year from now, 5 years, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. But a man's brain is not thinking that. So somewhere we got to figure out a way to meet in the middle. But Kenny is so right, because all I know is it's January 18th. Sherry's birthday is coming up next month. I ain't even thinking about it. Cause it ain't got close enough yet for me to think about what I'm gonna do. Go ahead, Tasha.
This is why you and I always get into it around the time it's time for you to move. Because I be telling Black, go ahead and get on it. Black be like, oh shit, I ain't worried about that shit. It's 3 weeks away. What are you waiting on? Go ahead, prep. He gives me anxiety because he just waits.
Tasha be more stressed out than I be. But we view time so differently, and my God, that is so interesting because, ladies, if you're watching this show and you go back and watch this show, remember this one point. I do think it's a gender thing, and a lot of times I don't know if it's just we're just built that way. But when you start talking about, so where we gonna be and this and that.
But let me ask this, brother.
Mhm.
After about 3 months, you really don't even know the person.
We're not talking about whether you know them. You missed the whole point. We're not talking about whether you know them. We're talking about the fact that for some people, like, the future for them is, as we've established. You said 5 years.
Right,
You're looking 5 years ahead. We're not talking about whether you would know each other. As a man, I might hope we're gonna be together, but I ain't looking 5 years ahead, Sherry.
So I have a question. As men, do y'all like career goals and things like that? Do you plan that shit? Like, do you have those conversations?
Ooh.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years, or where would you like to be in 5 years, or whatever?
Do
You
you
know.
want the honest answer from me?
Yes.
I've asked that question a million times because it's a great question to ask in an interview, but in reality, no. No, if you asking me in all, you laughing at me, but in
No, I'm
all,
not.
but in
That's
all
how women be so
seriousness,
stressed out.
I'm being completely honest. I'm in a new company, new job. Tasha, I don't even remotely think about 6 months from now. I hope I'm in this position. I hope my black ass is there 2 weeks from now.
And I think that's why, like, for me, I think about it in terms of, yes, I can give
see,
you an answer of
see,
where
see,
I want to be.
see. It's incredible. It's incredible. Oh my! There's a movie. Mel Gibson has a movie called what is it? What a Man Wants.
Hmm.
And there's a scene in the movie where he can hear what women are thinking, and he's an ad executive. And there's this one scene. Kenny, you muted. I'm gonna unmute you, my brother. You're muted, Kenny. There's this one scene where he's really, when he embraces this gift and he's running, and he look at these women running because he's coming up with this ad campaign for Nike. And you know what? He comes to the conclusion. He said, women worry all the time because as they're running, you know what the women are running, they're thinking, did I leave those lights on? Did I unplug the coffee pot? Oh, I got to do this, that. And it's really a great depiction how y'all brains are always running on shit that, and the man's mind, we're so crystal clear. We get up in the morning and shit,
Mm-hmm.
and we just deal with what's in front of us.
Man, Hey, it's a new day. I just whatever comes my way, comes my way. Hopefully, the good Lord will let me live to see the next day. So that's kind of how I approach life, man.
No, no, but
Okay.
you know
All
what?
right.
Because it was so ingrained in me, like even younger, have a plan, always have a plan. I, I've scheduled PTO time. I've already started look, even though my lease for my apartment is not up until August, I've already started looking at places.
Who
And
does that?
I know she told me
I
this.
Me,
I
we
asked
don't
her, I
do
said, well,
that
Tasha, when's your lease up? And she's looking right now.
already.
Yes,
Boy,
But
yeah.
you supposed to.
you gotta have an idea. I
And
already
did
know
y'all
how
hear what
many
she
days I
said?
want to be
She
off.
said she scheduled her PTO time.
Yeah,
Nah.
always.
When I get ready to take vacation, then I'll click in and see what vacation I got.
right.
Then
Yep.
that's when
That's,
I make the decision.
that's how I always
Then
did it.
No.
Yep.
it's incredible. Wow. I'm gonna take one more because we're not gonna run 30 minutes over. I'm gonna take one more, but that's just so fascinating right there.
It is.
Victoria though, she says, I see people today get into relationships so too fast. They do not take the time to get to know each other, what you both want in your relationship or life period. Absolutely true, Miss Tori.
Absolutely.
Absolutely true, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
You know,
Even if
um,
something as simple as getting pregnant, men are like, well, fuck it, I'll deal with it when it happens. Women like, oh my
absolutely.
God. Like, especially in 2023, oh my God, I got to start planning to make a trip to a state that might allow abortion.
Oh, it's funny, but it's so
But
true.
that's real.
Yes.
That's
But it's
real talk
so
right
real and
there.
true. Oh
Yeah.
my God. And that's another
Yeah.
incredible amount of stress for a woman because we don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God,
Right.
Tasha.
Right. Yep.
Ladies, I take my hat off to you because your brains, we're just not having to deal with that.
Exactly. We see what happened with the Underground Railroad. There's a reason why Harriet was leaving it and not Harry, okay? Because his ass was thinking about a couple of hours and she was thinking about lifetime, okay? So there you go.
Well, Harry had some other ish going on from getting his foot chopped off and having to do some other stuff.
You know?
Well,
Having to shoot.
obviously, he
You know
wasn't
what I'm saying?
motivated like Harriet was when she was
Oh,
trying to
okay.
make
All
away,
right.
okay?
Okay. All right. We're gonna
Well,
let you tell
well,
that
Tasha,
story.
you got a fan. Victoria said, Tasha, I think that's a good way to be. Do not change, baby girl. You doing it right. I don't doubt it. But I'll say this, and I'm gonna end it on this instead of taking another one. That's exactly why we still need each other.
Bam. That's a
That's
great transition.
exactly why we still need each other. Because men, we can't replace women.
Nope. Not at all.
That's exactly why we need each other. Because while we're willy nilly around here, living by the seat of our pants, you do need that partner to ground you in reality and make you think about your future and something concrete. And I think a comedian said it one time, I forget. He said, a man wouldn't own a nice house if it wasn't for a woman. If y'all would screw us in a box, we would. But because we know you won't and you want nice things, we go out and get nice things. And that is exactly why we need each other. And at its core, why I do this show, because I want to improve relationships. We can't do it without you guys. Women are too important to our overall success. And we all know that the greatest men, the greatest leaders out there, guess who's behind them making them great?
Right.
Bill Clinton would have been shit as a president if it wasn't for Hillary. As great as people are enamored with Obama, the true brain trust and the true class behind it was Michelle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The greatest men, they have good, solid women behind them, planning shit, propping them up, letting them be out front and taking the credit. So I take my hat off to women for real for that reason. And that's why we need you guys. Tori says, I think it's time for a woman to run our country. I do too. I'm not opposed to that on any level. Sadly, I don't think we're as a country are ready for it.
Hmm.
But I definitely think a woman is capable of running this country. I think she would do a great job. Now, there's some inherent things like with anybody, any leader, but I don't know if as screwed up as things are, Miss Tori, we're ready for that. But anyway, I wanted to end it on that note, and there was more. You know what? I didn't want to rush through this. I could have ran through the others. We might end up doing a part two because I got some good material in here. Yeah. So
Okay,
yeah,
that's what's
we
up.
we 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 gonna leave it there. But again,
Let,
I
let me let me
appreciate you
give a
guys.
shout out real quick. Let me
Shoot,
wish
please.
a happy eternal
I saw
born
that.
day to my brother from another mother. He's my first cousin. Larry Walker would have been double nickel today. He would have been 55 on today. We lost him in 96 at the age of 28 to a senseless
Wow,
murder in
wow, wow,
Milwaukee.
wow.
So
Happy
definitely shout
birthday.
out
Happy,
to
happy
my
birthday, my brother.
Capricorn brother Larry Walker. You know, your little bro miss you, but I know, hey, we gonna hold it down. So
That's what's
anyway, I
up.
want to wish him a happy eternal born day to my brother.
Happy birthday, Larry. That's what's up. No doubt about it. Uh, so anyway, I hope you guys go on and enjoy the rest of your week. Tasha, it's good to see you laugh because I know when you first come in, we have low energy,
Yeah.
but again, baby, I thank you so much. People don't notice about McMack that, this is not really her thing. It really and truly isn't. But she's been doing this for years, at my behest. And I love her for it and I appreciate it. She makes the show better. She makes me better, you know. And that's why she's my best friend because I am a procrastinator and a bullshitter and all of those other good things. And I
Yeah.
have somebody like my sister and my best friend to hold me accountable, to check on me, to make sure I'm doing some of the things that I need to be doing, like even taking care of my health and making. I would not be in this apartment if it wasn't for Tasha pushing me. Black, what the fuck are you waiting on? And
Right.
that's literally was her. Well, you don't have time, blah, blah, blah.
Don't
So
mock me.
you
Don't
know,
mock me.
so and I she hates when I mock her, but that's really the crux of it, And my sister check on me every day. So look, I'm gonna end this show a part of my new segment of lifting people's spirits up and being appreciative for what we have. All of us are above ground. We got each other. We got this, you guys. So we all got issues going on in the background, but you know what? That we were able to come together for this little hour, laugh with each other, talk with each other. We're rich.
Yes.
Yes,
We're
sir.
wealthy. We're
Yes,
rich.
sir.
So enjoy that. And I hope you take a little bit of this energy, reach out to somebody who need a little bit of this energy from you. Text them, call them, and say, hey. So that said, you can find us on again TFG under Uncut or Ratchet, YouTube and Facebook. And once again, we appreciate you. And we're gonna keep having these conversations because it's all about keeping it real. Till next time, peace out.
Hey, bye,
Peace.
everybody.